Hey, welcome back. We're back in Timberborn in our Windtop Bluff colony. And last time we left off working on 3 different mega projects. Our wind tunnel here, and our water tower here, and our big reservoir here. So this time, I think we're going to focus on getting those done. And then we're going to move on to some other projects after that. Hopefully working on some of the underground stuff. We'll see if we can get some of that in today as well. But to finish these, I think we're going to run a quick time lapse and see if we can at least get in all the stuff that needs to be built. And then we can go back and let them actually build it. So let me just hop right out and we'll do that. We've got 3 of the major steps for our large-scale projects in. We've got basically all of the dirt levels of our wind tunnel set up, and hopefully, well, one, I need to connect them in here. I just noticed I missed that, but that's okay. We can do that. We'll just put the, well, I guess we're starting down there. Put those in. They should be able to build most of this. I think I have to connect the road in somehow. There's that. And that. This. And down here. they'll loop back around on all of these to get all of the ones back here. Looks like I forgot to put in the dirt here too, but that should be okay. We'll come back and do that eventually. Once we get our second level in here, but we're gonna have them finish that first. Over here, as you can see, we've got the whole water tower pretty much planned out. The only problem being that, of course, they have to get that made, and you'll notice there's this hole in the side. They've got to get up there somehow, so we'll get that figured out eventually, but we'll let them work on this. We did start at one point on a nice tunnel here to remove bad water. Did we get all the way down to the bottom here? We did. Does it look like they worked on that? No. Oh, that's because I forgot to put the ladders in here. Need a tunnel that switches them out with ladders, but that's okay. One of these days I'll figure out how to do that and just do that on its own. That must be a random levee that missed. We can reclaim those bricks. That's looking good. And then finally, we've also got this taken care of over here. Hopefully they'll be building that. Let's say that we want logs coming into here so they can build that a little bit faster. We have one other area that needs some work done, and I think while we're waiting on the rest of that to come in, what we'll do is, one, we've got this. There's a great suggestion to connect that back there, so now they can go either way that they want to go, either to the right or to the left. But out here we're still getting some bad water, so what we're going to do, we're going to close this off, and we're going to take some sluices and just go out either side here. There we go. We'll put in one of the super large dynamites that we have there. And then we just kind of have to use dirt to enclose it. We can do that, and then we'll do this. That can all go out, and then we can just put in a top here. There we go. We'll put that in, we'll put that in. In fact, we'll cover these two up, but we'll pause that so they don't build on top of it before they need to. And now we just have to build a nice overhang so that they can get out there to all of that. Let's see, they should be able to use that. Let's connect those in. There we go, one down. Where's the next one? Okay, there's one here. We'll have to figure out how to fit that one in there. Let's do one for the good water. We'll do one for the bad water. We'll put in more explosives there. Then let's get the dirt. This one actually might be a little bit easier. We'll do these, and then this, and that there. And again, just pause that. That should take care of that one. This one's kind of hanging off the edge of nowhere, so this ought to be interesting. Let's say, why don't we maybe build up a little bit so that we can go with a nice sluice here. Put one sluice for the good water, we'll put one for the bad water, and then I don't think I need those. I don't know why I decided to make two there, but that's okay. And yep, there we go. I have to remember to hold shift to get those out of there properly. We'll do this. Oh, that's probably why. Let's see if we can... Whoa, hello. We'll have to block this off. There we go. That should work just fine. Block that off. Let's put in a large dynamite there. And then we'll do this. We'll just cover them all up. Put one in the middle. Let's again pause that. And then let's get a bridge out here and we'll see what they can build. Bridge. This need to be a 3 or a 4? That's a good question. This looks like a 3 should probably do it. Where else do we have them here? Oh, this won't work. Where did I... Oh, okay. That should be okay. I could make that look a little better, but I think it's good for now. Let's go ahead and I could probably save some dirt here, but now we're going to leave that whole pillar too. Let's take a look. We'll see if we can get that one and that one. This one can be for the bad water. It'll want to go down to the bottom of the map, and then we just got to block that. We'll put one there, because why not? One there and one there. Pause you, and then we don't have to get too far on this one. Tell you what, we'll just use another 3 just to make sure. There we go. And then, oh, there's one here. Good grief, how many are there in here? This is a major water source, and we're not really using too much of it, so we'll have to figure that out. Let's do the sluices around the side. One sluice there, one sluice there. We'll do this side as the water trapping side. Bad water out, I guess you could say. This all goes here. Cover that up with one. And this can go right there, but we'll pause it, of course. Pause. Let's get a bridge. This one might need a slightly longer 4 bridge. Yep. So let's take the path around. We'll get to that. And then there's one over here in the corner. And what I'm thinking is we'll send the good water this way and send the bad water that way. But that's going to mean we're going to have to change this dynamite slightly. So we'll do 2 of them. And this one, what height is this? This is 16, this is 10, so it needs to go down to 6 blocks. Still cost me 21 extract, but 6 blocks only. We'll do this, and we'll go ahead and get the sluice on this side. We'll put the dirt right here above it. Well, maybe. Let's do it that way. There we go. And then we'll capture those again whenever they get all of this stuff in. There needs to be some kind of in-game function, mod, something that says, how did this beaver get here? Because if you look, this has all been built. This has definitely been built. How? How did they get here? I got nothing. Really? But we're just going to have to wait for him. He's going to become part of the major reservoir. And that's that. I do want to restore the connection over here. And that should be pretty easy. I can still use a 2 there. And then we just have to go down a couple of levels. Let's see if we can set to that level. And we'll say tunnel. There we go. That can go there. That should get them connected back in. That way they can go underneath and go down to here. I could do the stairs under that as well, but I think they'll be all right. We can go around and look for some of the areas. It looks like our logs are having a little bit, but I'm having trouble seeing it. Oh, that's why I'm having trouble seeing. I forgot to come back on the screen. Here we go. There we go. Now I'm back. Now we'll go take a look around and see what we're doing. So we've got a decent amount of trees over here. These are all bots, so hopefully they can get these logs taken care of a little quicker. We'll have the haulers come and maybe pick up the logs for them. But you know what? We'll go ahead and start on maybe some other areas as well. We've got some green land down here. The only problem is, until this is done, this is going to go basically bad every once in a while. But what we can do is we can at least get set up for some of this stuff. Let's put a forester, how about here? Looks like we got a drought, so that's not too bad. Let's go this way. And we'll come out maybe across the lake here. We want to do maybe, here's a nice suspension bridge. Yep, let's do a 2 and a 2, and we'll have a middle part. There we go. Just to keep it nice and even. And then down here, we could probably connect into this up here. Let's see if I can see. How far away can you go? About that far. About that far. There we go. About that far. Okay. So we'll do that. We'll come down here. Let's cross this river. And we'll do this. And let's do... We'll have to put a... Oh, that's too deep. So let's put a 2 here. There we go. Let's get some bridges. What do we got? 3? Nope. Maybe a 2. Well, it looks a bit odd, but you know what? We'll take it. It should work just fine. Here, let's go ahead and continue on getting maybe a couple of... There we go. A couple of lumberjacks. Maybe one there, and how about one here? Over here, we'll do the same thing. Let's go ahead. How about... What if we put it on the corner here? We could do that. There we go. Now let's get a couple of lumberjacks out here somewhere. We'll do one there, one here, and maybe we'll take a road just out that way. There we go. We'll even say, hey, go ahead and plant a whole bunch of oak here. There we go. Looking good. We'll get, I think it went over about this far. So we'll do that. And we'll let them work on building some of that stuff as well. We'll say that this stuff might be a little bit higher priority so that we know that we get it in here. Something our downstairs neighbors have been asking oh so graciously for the longest time is a fix for having a bunch of bad water dumped on their head. So I think now seems like a perfectly reasonable time to go ahead and take care of that now that there's a drought coming up and we don't have to worry about it. So there's this. That should come out whenever there's bad water. And then what we'll do is we will just drop that bad water straight down. Let's do this. Straight down through there. We'll say that's of high priority. And then we can actually probably put a cap back on this. So let's do a... Well, we could just put caps on a different way. Yeah, I think we could do that. Once that's in there, there we go. Detonate that out. Makes a huge hole in the ground, but that's okay. What we just got to do, we can start putting in, hopefully, some landscaping here. Let's just do that, and then we'll build up to the top, and we'll put a cap right on just the single one. I could have put a 2 cap on there, but that seems to waste a little bit of land. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll do that. And then we'll say, let's cap this off right there. And make it all high priority. Then we can just go down and go all the way to the bottom. Bad water should fall all the way through there, and then we just need tunnels out the side of the map, which we'll do right here. There we go. More tunnels, all the way to the side of the map. And then we just have to maybe get started there, going down to the bottom. So if we do that and that, let's just do from there. Why not? They can start building when they can. Hopefully, they can cap this off, and we'll say that that's fairly important. And that leaves us, hopefully, to be able to reclaim a little bit of this land right here. We had another suggestion, a great suggestion for a colony over here. We're gonna call it... Yep, that's right. We're going to call it Beaver, which, if I can type here, there we go, stands for Bioelectric Automated Variable Engineering Rodents, or the Beaver district for all of our nice bot section here. Turns out to be a great name. So there's a couple of areas left. There's our main area over here, and then there's our, well, we're not doing much with it area, but we'll figure it out kind of area so far. So if anybody else has names, let me know, and we'll go from there. Looking at a corner colony here, and I've noticed they don't have much to do during the time where they're down. So what we can do here, let's just give them a couple of nice things to do. Let's put down maybe a campfire or two. We'll do that. There we go. And we could look into getting them a rooftop terrace. Let's see. We could definitely do maybe about a rooftop terrace here. And we'll put this one there. And we'll get them going there. And let's maybe toss in some other things. How about a nice shrine? And we'll do some decoration over here. How about a lantern? We'll do the all-important shrubs over here. Maybe a couple of shrubs here as well. We'll toss... Can we toss a... We'll toss those on the top there. There we go. That looks good. How about scarecrow for that? We'll put you on the corner, and we'll do a beaver statue right here. So they get a little bit of well-being walking around there. That's not too bad. We'll see how they do from there. There we go. We've got most of our projects done, at least in a usable state. Our nice wind tunnel is producing almost 18,000 power. We've got a small hole still to fill in the side, but we'll have to get the beavers out of there first before we can do that. We've got a couple left at the top to build here too, but they'll get that. And then finally, we've got all of this reservoir in, which halfway through the drought is still mostly full. So that's not doing too bad either. All around, we've got all those mega projects pretty much taken care of to transform our colony. We picked up a couple of small side projects while we were at it, but I think overall we've done pretty well. We still have to figure out what to do with this area. And we still have to add on a second phase to this project, but that's definitely going to be next time. So, as always, just want to say thank you very much for stopping by, and hope to see you next time. Bye!